Welcome back to the Unleashing Potentials podcast. Joining me today is Roxy Rusek. Rusek or Rusek?
Rusek.
Rusek. Okay. Welcome, Roxy. How are you?
Thank you very much. I am very well. I'm very happy to be here and talk to you, Bernadette.
Awesome. So, Roxy, tell us more about you and what you do.
Yes, for the new audiences here and for those of you who don't know me, my name is Roxy Rusek. I am a lifestyle design coach that focuses on inner transformation. I am an energy healing facilitator and biofield tuning practitioner. So those are the modalities I use that focus on inner healing and transformation and bringing more alignment into your life and purpose. So this is me.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. What is a life design coach? I've interviewed lots of coaches, but I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, so I help people design their life from the inside out, and that goes into releasing inner energy. Apologies. So life design coach. So I help people take the next step in life, whether that's, in personal alignment, in career paths, in relationships. Sometimes we need to take a step back and assess what our lives are in the form of going back to the roots, going back to the foundation, and going back to really taking a helicopter view of life to see where you are and where you're going, and if where you're going is aligned with where you really want to be going with your purpose and what you love doing, and in your own healing journey as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that you talk about healing. What
Yeah.
does healing mean to you, and how have you been healing?
Yeah, so healing is really important for me, not only in my own life, but also helping people and giving people the tools to take themselves on a healing journey. I started my own process, I want to say 15 years ago, a little bit over 15 years ago. It started, very innocently going to yoga, doing meditations, but then I started unveiling these deeper layers of myself, these deeper memories, these deeper tension points in terms of like a physical aspect. So I started to realize how the past really shapes who you are, but not only in how you are outside to the world, how you appear to the world, but your own belief systems, your own emotions and feelings. And sometimes we go through life not realizing that we still have these things residing in our body that were maybe as a result of trauma or something that happens to us. And trauma doesn't have to be, I really want to make this a point because a lot of times we think trauma is something awful that happens to us. It doesn't have to be. Trauma can be anything that makes us feel not safe, or that brings us tension into our body because of circumstance outside of us. So trauma is anything that causes our body and our energy to react. So we can tense up. If we fall off our bike when we're younger and we have this belief system that the world is not a safe place, or that I don't want to take risks because I'm going to fall. So that belief is planted into our minds and bodies, and we go through life maybe not being willing to take risks, or not trusting, or being afraid of something, and that lives in our body until we bring awareness to it, um, and heal that. And that really translates to other parts of our lives. If we're moving along in a relationship or on our career path, it certainly shapes our personalities and how we make choices in life. So I started realizing that for myself and taking on different healing knowledge and wisdom, and through traveling, through learning, and through experiencing myself, that I then was able to heal certain aspects of myself and really realizing that this is my passion, this is what I'm here to do, and I want to show others avenues of how to do that, how to form a deeper relationship with self, how to be in relationship with self, because that's different, and how that changes our exterior environment, and how our exterior environment shapes us as well. So there's that play of inner outer outer inner. So I'd like to bring awareness to that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that. Sorry, my cats are going crazy.
Yeah, we have animals in this podcast too.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing. You're also an energy healer. For those who don't know what that means, can you tell us what it means?
Absolutely. So we are all energy beings, first and foremost, right? When we can call it energetic beings, we can call it soul, we can call spirit, but without that, we're just a dense body, right? Our feelings, our emotions, are energy. So um, reading and being able to connect to your energy and that data of information that it gives us, we're then able to speak and learn a different language of human communication. And our energies have a lot of information. Like I mentioned before, we store our lives in our energy. And I'm
Mhm.
going to talk about biofield tuning in connection to energy, because as a biofield tuning practitioner, we read your energy in the form of your biofield. So your biofield is like your aura, your chakra system, your internal energy points, your meridians, which are also energy points in the body
Mhm.
at like a smaller scale. So we're given so many different maps in life and to the body, that the more you're able to see and read these maps, you're giving more information, more data.
Mhm.
So energy is a beautiful map, beautiful language that we can use to speak to become more in harmony with our body. So, for example, we may always like carry this tension in our hips, and we don't know why. So, my methods include taking you there, taking you to that physical place, and going through your lifetime of energy and memories, and trying to find the point of what caused that tension, what caused that contraction in your body.
Mhm.
Or if you're a highly anxious person, there's going back to the root. There is a point in your life that caused this anxiety. So going back and touching base with that point in your life, and then bringing more um, resonance into your body through the gateway of that point. So we use breath work, we use tuning forks, we can use the method of Ho'oponopono, which is a little Hawaiian prayer that this doctor, are you familiar
Yeah, I've
with
heard of
it?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's four phrases. It's I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. They're affirmations that bring a certain energy into your life, into your body, into your awareness. And it's a healing, almost it's like a healing code that we can use to bring more peace into your life, to release those dense feelings and emotions that don't serve us,
Mm.
the limiting beliefs that it creates. So it's there are many methods, and I love working with these many methods, these languages, because it's it's like reaching into a toolbox, and you can pick a tool and work with it, work with whatever works for that person in that given time. And one tool may work for one person, and may not work for the next. So I like to use a multi-tool and multi-dimensional approach to healing and releasing that stagnation in your body, in your space, in your aura, in your energy field, to bring more resonance, so that you can receive, so that you can become more magnetic, so that you can be at peace with yourself, so that you can be more aligned with your true passions and love and relationships. So it's really, that's why I like to call myself a life design coach, because we're literally breaking down all of all of the blocks, the obstacles, addressing them so that you can shake off anything that doesn't belong and design a way into
Mhm.
a life that you will love and that you deserve. And we all deserve to have a life that we
Mhm.
desire. That's just our birthright. It's just a matter of doing the work, healing,
Mhm.
and really learning to have compassion and love ourselves. And I know how like fluffy it may seem at times, but it really is a journey and process into loving yourself and
Mhm.
realizing your own value, not by external validation, but through that inner knowing, that connection to that energy
Mhm.
that will give you um, those points of validation and light and love towards yourself.
Mhm. Oh, I love all of everything you just shared. I love all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
self-love, that's so hard for so many to do. Maybe they were programmed as kids, the way their parents showed love to them, or how their families or friends or society showed love to them. I think that's one of the hardest kind of love to give ourselves, but it is doable, especially if someone is working with you and the work that you're doing.
absolutely. And I will say something about this because you said it perfectly. Sometimes it's really hard to love ourselves. And, when we connect to that inner child, that inner being of us, and look at her from the outside point of view. So taking yourself out of the me point of view, but zooming out and looking at yourself as a separate being. So what I like to do is I like to work with our higher selves or with your inner child or with your inner parent, depending on where somebody is on their journey. And for some reason, we're programmed to be protective of those parts of us, and it works more uh, deeply when we can connect to that inner child and look at her or him or them and want to protect that part of ourselves, right? Or from a higher self point of view, like having that best friend, having that um, partner in life that is just never going away. They're there, they have your back, and they're helping you on your journey. So having that as a separate energy from yourself
Mhm.
that has all of these things to heal, we can then connect to a different relationship with ourselves, to actually, looking at ourselves from another chair and saying, wow, like you're beautiful, or I love you, or, I'm sorry, and going through these affirmations. It's a little bit easier for us to connect to those parts of ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. An example for me, I don't know. I'm terrified of my inner child. I shouldn't be.
Mm.
I've tried to do separate meditations, but I never can press play to continue. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know why. And I know I may not be alone in this. Maybe I'm not ready to face my inner child. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
No, and thank you so much for sharing that part of yourself. And you are not alone. I've definitely heard that before. I definitely have also heard that it's really difficult for people to find that inner child
Mm,
for themselves and have that connection. So it is a process, and it's a layered approach. So
mm,
if I had to say anything, I would say, your inner child is protecting themselves. They don't want to be looked at. Maybe they don't want the attention at the moment. Maybe they want to be, hidden. It's a matter of creating that relationship with them and making that inner child feel safe to reveal themselves to you so that you can connect with them, so that you can form that deeper relationship. So giving her that space, being accepting of that, and say, I'm here whenever you're ready. I will always be here, and I'm here for you. Even giving yourself those affirmations
mhm,
is putting that layer of yourself at ease. It's like, I accept you as you are. Whenever you're ready, come talk to me.
mhm,
And yeah, acceptance is honestly a big part of the formula,
mhm,
and allowing yourself to be who you are and loving yourself through that. So loving her, it's like, okay, you can hide in the closet. I still love you. I'm here. And telling her that.
Mhm.
It's like that. I'm actually getting a visual as I'm telling you. It's like, there's you're playing hide and seek, and this little girl inside of you is hiding. She's hiding in the closet. She's playing hide and seek, and there's a parent version of you coming into the room. It's like, okay, I wonder where little Bernadette is, and you sit down at the table and you start talking to her, but like, you know, where she is, she's hiding, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna put this cookie and milk on the table, and I'm gonna have some too, and this is for you here, but I'm
Mhm.
here if you ever want to have cookies and milk with me. So giving her that permission to hide and to come out whenever she's ready, because she's protecting herself too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm scared of mine because it feels like she's hurt for so long, so angry
Mhm.
she turned into something demonic or just
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
scary and terrifying. That's always how I visualize it. Hopefully it's not that way, but that's kind of how I visualize my inner child.
Even if it is, it's okay. It's okay. And letting her know that it's okay, that you're going to love her through that too. We each have polarity to us, right? We have the light and the darkness, the lightness and the density. There's no way around it. We have the masculine and the feminine. There is polarity in us. There's the yin and the yang. So I recently heard this Native American story about two wolves,
Mm,
two fighting wolves. One is light and one is dark.
yeah.
One's lightness, one represents lightness, one represents darkness.
Mm,
So which wolf wins the fight? The
mm,
wolf that wins the fight is the one that you feed. So who do you feed more? Do you feed the darkness more? Do you feed the light more?
mm,
So like I said, we all have this duality to us, and you go through life, you go through trauma enough that you build up resentment and you build up more of the darkness, because you're fed more, that your circumstances fed that part of you more than
mm,
the other. So focusing on which wolf you feed will be the winning energy in your life. So, you know, even though we might have fed the dark wolf years ago, and we're trying to feed the light wolf now, we
mm,
still have to go back to that dark wolf and release it, to let go of it, to heal it, to bring awareness to it, to be okay with the fact that it was fed for so long.
mhm,
And a lot of times, like I said, we don't want to, and as you said perfectly too, we don't want to go back to those parts of ourselves, or um, our subconscious protects us from those memories or from those parts of ourselves. But in
mhm,
order for us to heal them, we have to face them, and realize that behind that is just a scared little girl or scared little boy that maybe didn't get the love that they needed in a way that they needed, or maybe they didn't feel safe or supported or valued or protected. All of these things in life that we go through, they're very basic. When we go back to the root of it, they're very basic, but they build on top of each other, that they become a multi-layered complication, that maybe our relationships aren't going the way we want, or maybe we're making the same mistakes in life, we're repeating the same unsupportive choices, or stepping into career paths or relationships that are abusive or not supporting us in a way that we want to be supported and loved. So all of that stems from that wolf that we feed years ago, or even now through our addicting behaviors, which are a soothing mechanism for trauma, or
mhm,
um, limiting beliefs that we have about, like, what we can have, what we desire, where we want to be in life. Those are all limitations that are a result, an external result of something that happened to us internally.
mhm,
So
mhm.
so that's what healing is, and it's a process. It's never a one time thing. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And as
Mhm.
you go through your own healing journey, you start having a different relationship with self. And I always say that, the relationship you have with yourself is the most important one. I don't care if you're a mother or a husband or a wife. You're going to be in a relationship with yourself forever. That doesn't go away.
Mhm.
And if you bring that into love and light and alignment, things outside of you are going to start taking shape as well.
Mhm.
So you're going to be able to fill your own cup and overflow to be able to be of service and love and light for somebody else, like a beacon of light or like a lighthouse. So it's
Mhm.
really important that we do that for ourselves. And I always say that spending time with yourself, which is what a lot of people escape from, or run away from or turn away from, is the biggest gift you can gift yourself.
Mhm.
To have the courage to be with yourself, with your thoughts, with your energy, with that inner child, like you said, it does take courage. And quieting down all of the noise around you. So by that I mean distractions, by in the form of relationships or casual relationships, or distracting yourself with other vices, alcohol, drugs, or partying, or like binge watching TV all the time. Don't get me wrong, like I like a good Netflix show, but when we um when we create this pattern of escapism through these vices,
Mhm.
that's when we're hiding.
Yeah.
And that's what we use as a distraction from listening to ourselves, from taking a look, a
Mhm.
deeper look within.
Yeah. 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 You're right.
So
How can,
we have to give ourselves space to do that,
yeah,
space and
absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. You answered my next question. I was going to ask, how can we stop escaping the things that we know we should be facing?
Yeah, yeah. So I can tackle this from two aspects, from outside in and inside out. So outside in, creating literally an action plan on how we can do that. So setting your alarm clock for your a date with yourself. Okay, from 7 to 8 in the morning, I'm
Mhm.
going to be just me, lock the doors, no kids, no pets, no husbands, no wives, just me. Meditate, drop into your body, start taking note of how your body feels. Gratitude is one of the biggest healers in this world, and we don't do it enough. Sometimes the simple things is what does the work, but
Yeah.
having a pattern and a ritual and creating a habit out of the simple things is the gateway to healing. You have no idea how many times I've like said this, and it's so simple, but yet people don't do it. A lot of my clients, I will send them like some of my content and courses that are self-paced.
Mhm.
They don't do it. They just don't. It's hard to make that time for yourself. But when you make that commitment, the commitment to self, and creating a space, like a physical space that you can retreat to, or um, create your sanctuary so that you can go inward. That's the outside, creating that environment for yourself that will support that habit. And
Mhm.
then from the inside out is connecting to all of those aspects that we talked about, that inner self, and really playing with the energy, the emotions, to create that inner peace. Heart and mind connection, that's another method that I use when
Mhm.
I work with clients, because we are electromagnetic beings. You can think of something, but it's it's a whole other energy when you put your heart into it, when you start feeling with your heart. Our feelings and emotions are the most important language that we underestimate. So think about it this way: when we are born, our heart is the first thing to symbolize life,
Yeah.
not our brain, our heart. So when we can create structures and visualizations with our mind, but add emotion to it, it's like adding fuel to the fire. It's like igniting the spark to the bark, to the tree, to the wood. Without that, there's no fire. So you can have, the logs, but you need that spark. That's what the heart does. So working from that inner perspective of you as well as the outer perspective, your environment, creating that life for yourself
Mhm.
that will support making those habits a new thing in life. So again, with life design, we work on that together. We create structures in place, but also ignite the structures with inner work, with feelings and emotions, with releasing stagnation in the body, with releasing trauma in the body, and your biofield to get you there, because one is nothing without the other. So we need to combine those both aspects, the left brain and the right brain, the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang.
Mhm.
Um, so that's how I like to work with people. It's a multi-level approach, and also shaping your environment that will be in support of this journey. A lot of times we also I can tell where people are in life based on like where they are in life, in their space, in their physical spaces. So we go through addressing what that looks like as well.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
we work on the interior aspect of you and the
Yeah.
exterior aspect of you.
Yeah, that's really cool. As you were speaking, I visualize a house, an old house, and it got broken down to the ground and then slowly was built up. That is really,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. We break shit down. And we start at the foundation. I actually have a program called the Inner Architecturist, and we do the renovation. Everything is focused on like a house representing your life, right?
Mm,
And we work on your house as well. We declutter. We let go of things that no longer serve us, like
mhm.
getting rid of memories that hold energy, so that you can make space for new things in life, new energy. Because if we're holding on to something so dearly that we're grasping onto it, our hands can't open to receive.
Mm,
So that goes for energy, but that also goes for things like, old clothes or pictures or things like we have in our house that's are from a former relationship. All of those things hold energy.
mhm.
So with the inner architectures, we tackle both sides of that. We tackle limiting beliefs. We break it down. We have a renovation day or week,
Mm,
and then we get to the foundation of you, and we create a blueprint, a roadmap that will take you
mhm.
into a life that you desire, 360. So in relationships,
Yeah.
in health and wellness, in your relationship to self, what you value in life, and how you want to incorporate more of that in your life. Because, sometimes we forget about those little things, like the foundations of what makes us us, what we want in life. And we look around and it's like, okay, well, that doesn't really align with that person who I want to be, but it's in my life, it's in my periphery. So we we learn to release that, and we learn to reshape that into something that you do want.
Yeah, yeah. And I think so many of us, we don't like change. Anything new
Mm,
threatens our existence at times, especially on the inside, definitely outside as well. Um, yeah,
yeah, that's
how can we heal and deconstruct our lives in ways that are not terrifying for us?
yeah, change is scary, isn't it? And there's a saying, the only thing in life that's constant is change.
Mm,
So another way I like to look at it is that you are your own constant.
mm,
So knowing that and tapping into the fact that you are your own constant in life. You're always going to be there. It's that like higher self will always be there for you. That inner child is always there with you. That is your constant. So connecting to that and working with releasing the fear for having control of how your life is going to unfold. Working in the present, of course, looking at the past as a roadmap and as instructions into what else you still need to heal, and then having a vision for the future and being able to tap into that energy of the future as if you already had it, but being in the present, being feeling safe in the present moment, because that's the only thing that you're guaranteed. Your past is the past. The future is what you will create, but it starts with the person that you are today in this moment in this life. So tackling how you're feeling in the moment, tackling what's going on in your body in the moment. And once you master that, change is going to be exciting for you. You're going to want to create, you're going to want to see how the energy you create now, how you generate this energy that you have now, what it will shape for you in the future. And when you master that, you can then call into life, be more magnetic to the things that you desire, that you visualize, that you feel like you already have. So for example, this is another method I work with, visualizing and tapping into like a relationship you want to call into your life. So giving yourself that already in the present moment before you long for it, because longing ignites a scarcity mindset. Longing is you don't have it yet. And this is something I do on myself too. Of course, it's difficult not to fall in that pattern because we're human, right? But shifting the mindset as you catch it, we all have triggers. We're always going to have triggers. Once you heal one, a next one will come. So I'm no better than the next, you know, like it's just a matter of having tools in being able to heal those things. And we're going to be put in situations like that until we heal them. So it's that pattern and the ability to recognize that pattern, zoom out a little bit and say, okay, where's this coming from? And do I want to subscribe to it still, or am I ready to heal it? And that answer will come to you. And the more of these habits, the more rituals you create for yourself around inner healing, around creating inner peace, and you know, creating that space for an hour a day for yourself, that's when these things happen. It's not through you know, having a major I don't know moment in life. It's about creating those lifestyle changes that will shift your lifestyle completely over a period of time. And then that's when the big moment happens. That's when the big aha happens. That's when you shift the thing. It just comes out of nowhere. So creating those little nuggets of experiences for yourself is the thing that's going to take you there. Like I said, marathon, not a sprint. Every mile marker is going to be a step that takes you forward. So yeah, that's how I would say that's the roadmap, that's the blueprint to healing.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you talked about triggers because all of us have them, but we don't always react in a healthy manner, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
All of us have so many sometimes we don't have the proper headspace to deal with the triggers. How can people go deep and figure out what's triggering them and who is triggering them?
Yeah, no, this is huge. So in the moment, I would say instead of reacting, breathe. Breathing and bringing awareness to the breath is that stop sign that's going to make you pause and say, okay, don't follow that old neuro circuit in your brain that makes you reach that level of anger or takes you to the blow up phase, right? Stop, breathe, regulate the central nervous system. That's a very physical thing that you can do. Then take a moment to actually think about and see what's behind that trigger, because it's never actually the trigger that's the problem. It's how it became a trigger. So this is a little bit, you know, it's difficult to do in the moment because you have to do the work, take a step away, and actually do the work in connecting to the origin of the trigger. But in the moment, step away. Maybe say, this isn't the time that we talk about this. Can we reconvene in an hour or tomorrow once I collect my thoughts? Or say, create boundaries. If someone's stepping over your boundaries, create very firm boundaries in the moment so that you're protecting yourself, so that you're protecting that inner child, that higher self, that best friend. Say, okay, enough for now. I need a moment. I will, but actually let the person know if you're coming to them, or give me an hour, then come back to me. That is a very healthy way of handling a trigger in the moment. But again, the next layer of it is taking a helicopter point of view, almost like taking yourself out of the body and like talking to it. Like, okay, like, so you're here, I see you. Like, what are you trying to tell me? And working with that as if it were energy that's giving you information. So when we start looking at that as data from that, like, energy outside of us, it's easier for us to understand it as if it were a data point of information. Like, okay, like all of this influx of energy is trying to tell me something. Okay, what is it? Like, where are you coming from? How did you get here? Like, talk to it like as if it were a traveler, like passing by, coming through. It's like, okay, what do you need from me? Do you need me to work on this? Do you need forgiveness? Like, how do we get there? So those are things you can do yourself in the moment, but this is obviously a deeper level of work, and this is something I've gone through with my mentors. This is something that I mentioned does come up. I still have arguments with my mom who doesn't, right? And it's taking yourself out of that trigger in the moment. And the more you practice it, they're still going to show up, but you're going to react differently. You're going to be triggered less, and you're going to be equipped with the tools to regulate your central nervous system and to have the data and information into not giving into it. You're still going to be there. And then, once you learn it, things outside of you will take on a different shape. You may, move through the trigger so it's not triggering anymore, because you know your own value, you know your own self-worth, or you don't want to partake in that party anymore.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, what are some of the countries that you've traveled to?
Yeah, so I've actually been traveling a lot since I was little. That's something that I grew up with, and I think now I'm at 45 countries.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, this is how I heal as well. And this is something that is a passion of mine. This is why I made my business Wanderess, because I like to wander in mind and wander around. So this is very much, it encompasses me as a person and what I'm here to do. And you can certainly have healing experiences when you journey through life and when you journey through physical places and spaces, because it puts us out of our comfort zone. It's the change that you were talking about. It's change in environment, and people, and what you know. And once you start observing yourself in how you act when you move through these physical spaces and places, that gives you a lot of information too. And I say this over and over again. Solo traveling and spending time alone is one of the biggest gifts you can gift yourself, because you start forming that deeper relationship with self. You start to push your own boundaries. You start to think, you start taking risks, or if you're afraid of taking risks, that's information for you to tap into as well. If something is a fear of yours as you're traveling through places, and if there's something you're wanting to do but don't take that next step, this is all data. And traveling is such a beautiful avenue of self-discovery. And I've been fortunate enough to travel through
Camera, Asha.
places.
That's my daughter. Sorry, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to travel through a lot of places
Mhm.
solo, and it's definitely been a hero's journey back to the self. You know, there were laughs, there were tears on the road, there were, you know, it's like, okay, you got to do this yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. You got to push forward, you got to make a plan, you got to you know, budget for this. You have to you know, see what makes you excited or where you don't get excited.
Mhm.
And it's an evolution in itself too. Like the way I used to travel looks very different from how I travel now. Before I was able to go, more energetic, more dynamic. Now I want to root down, feel into the energy of a place, create my space that makes me comfortable so that I can create those rituals, so that I can have a meditation spot in the morning,
Mhm.
so that I'm not like rushing through uh, going from one place to the next. And that was part of my evolution too, you know, like do we did I find myself that I was escaping from something? That made me like look at that inwardly too. It's like, what am I running from? You
Mhm.
know, you can't run from your own emotions, you can't run from your own thoughts. And if you change places, if you're constantly on the road, that could be a representation of that, you know. Like for me it wasn't, but you know, a lot of times there are things that come up that make you wonder and tap into your own needs. Now in life I feel like I travel less frequently but spend more time in one place because I need that. Uh, my sensitivity to a new place is amplified a lot more now that I'm working with energy more and more. I
Mhm.
feel the energy of a place as well, and I need to connect to that. I need to root down. I need to feel the ground and give myself the space to recover from the energy of the former place.
Mhm.
So so the way I travel and go through life has evolved as well, and that definitely translates into my life as well. I went from a go um, workforce in my former careers to more like let's ground, to a more conscious environment, to being more conscious in how I feel, in my energy levels, and how my body feels, instead of, you know, pounding the 4 cups of coffee a day and like, you know, doing more paperwork. I now, okay, give myself that rest time. Or
Mhm.
if I want to read a book because I need alone time and quiet, I will do that. If
Mhm.
I want to create and need to create and I'm in that more fiery energy, then I create and I listen to that.
Mhm.
Us women, especially, we have cycles, right? So understanding that our own energy through cycles. And, you know, when I was in corporate, I would just, you know, pop an Advil and like go. But
Mhm.
this is information. Our body is giving us information that we need rest. So that goes, you know, when I'm working, when I'm traveling, I'm more connected and conscious and aware of what my body needs and what my energy needs, and I give myself that. So
Mhm.
that's how my life has transformed through travel as well.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really cool. I love that. Yeah, I love everything
Mhm.
that you're doing. Who are your
Thank you.
clients? Are they women, men, and are they in the States or all over the world?
They are all over the world, mostly women, but men do come to me, and it's very organic. I like to observe that because um, people open up to me very quickly. So whether it's in a client setting or I'm just meeting people on the outside, it's very organic. And I did have this wave of men coming up to me and like opening up very quickly, and very deep stuff has come up. So um, organically, I would say that there's been some kind of like gateway that has opened up for me for men to do work with me. But currently, it's mostly women. I do have a program called the Inner Architecturist specifically for women
Mhm.
because I like to talk about, as I mentioned, cycles and our energy around cycles and how we create and how we need to rest and regenerate. So
Mhm.
this is really important that we talk about this because our corporate lives are so patriarchal and very fast paced,
Mhm.
and it's leading people to depletion. So I like to, address that and make that a conscious thing in women's lives. So, but yeah, my clients are all over, and it's mostly virtual work. If I'm somewhere in person, I will also do like an in-person session with biofield tuning or energy work or Reiki. But everything I do can be done remotely, and yeah, even my energy healing sessions are done remotely, and it
Mhm.
works. Energy is infinite, and it transfers through all time and space.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so I love what I do, and it took me a lot of trying on different hats and experiencing different things to get me here, but each being this like step forward, even though it had nothing to do with what I'm doing now. Um, it was a nugget of wisdom on my journey. It was that, like, step up, and every little thing that I did and have done has gotten me here. So no regrets in terms of careers or
Mhm.
choices that I made that led up to this moment.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really, really cool. Where can
Yeah,
my
yeah.
listeners find you if they'd like to work with you?
Yes, yes. So I have a website that lists all my offers, and you can actually sign up for a freebie. It's a toolkit, a retreat in a day, how to ignite your healing rituals in heart, space, and place. So you can get that at www.wanderess.me. That's Wanderess. That's my company. That's me.
Mhm.
I'm on Instagram, I.am.wanderess, and I'm sure you'll share my other links if
Mhm.
anyone's
Yeah.
interested in finding out more information. You can book a free interest call, and I'd be happy to, see what program fits for you, or if a one-on-one energy healing session or coaching session is aligned for them. So
Yeah,
yeah.
really cool. Do you have any final words or anything we haven't covered that you would like to leave us with?
I feel like we covered a lot of juicy
Did,
stuff, so
yeah.
I'm excited for your viewers to, kind
Mhm.
of take a look at their own energy in inner healing journey and see, kind of from a helicopter point of view, to see where they would like to focus more on in life. So I guess my final words is do just that. Tune in and tap into the feeling of where you are, not through the mind, through the thinking mind, but actually feel into where you are and where you want to be.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I love.
And yeah, because because that's the vision. That's how we create. That's how we dream. We dream, and we need to add the fuel into that dream for it to happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Roxy, thank you so much for your time. It was an honor to talk to you, to learn of the amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you, Bernadette. It was so much fun, and I'm excited to see where you're going with your business, and yeah, show up more. And
Mhm. Thank you.
I'm here if you need me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.